it's Martha. I have some books I want to tell you about, some picture books, and I liked them very much. I think you'll like them too. The first one is called Hey Dog, and it's by Tony Johnston. And it's about a little boy who one day sees a scared, hungry little dog hiding in a bush. And he tries to coax the dog out and make friends with him, but the dog is too frightened. So every day he leaves a little food and water and tries to show the dog that he can be trusted and that he can be a good friend. And so it's a book about being very patient and being very gentle and finally making a new friend. Very sweet. The second one is called Southwest Sunrise by Nikki Grimes. And this is about a boy whose family moves from New York City to New Mexico. What a huge change from a very busy, modern city like New York. And then suddenly the family is out in the Wild West, out in the desert with the mesas and the mountains, hardly any buildings. It's very different. So it's about a boy who has to adjust to a new situation. And at first he thinks there isn't really going to be anything good about it. But gradually he learns a lot of wonderful things about his new home and sees some beautiful things and learns to love it. This book is kind of similar. It's also about a girl who does not think she's going to like a situation. In this book, the girl's family decides to take a vacation, a camping trip out in the great outdoors. And usually they have a different kind of vacation where they're in the city or they go to a theme park. And the girl does not see what's so fun about the camping trip. And it takes her a little while. At first, she's pretty grumpy. It takes her a little while to start to think, hey, this is actually a wonderful adventure, and the different fun things that she sees. So The Not So Great Outdoors is by Madeline Kloepper. This one, Unplugged, is by Randi Zuckerberg. And it's about a family who all of a sudden, because of a power failure, all of their electronics turn off and they don't know what to do to entertain themselves. And they start to think of different things they could do. And they have so much fun that even when the power comes back on, they decide to stay unplugged for a little bit longer and to just do things that they can do without electronics. And one of the things I really like about this book is that it has a nice list in the back of lots of different activities that a family can do without electronics, without being plugged in. This one is called What is Given from the Heart by Patricia McKissack. And this is a sweet, serious story about a mother and son who are pretty poor. They live in a simple way. They don't have everything they want, but they get along okay. And one day at church, they hear that another family has lost everything they own in a house fire. Their house is burned down and they've lost everything. And the minister suggests that people in the congregation might want to give something to this family. And at first the boy thinks, well, we don't really have very much to give. But he puts his thinking cap on and he thinks of something very personal and very special that he can give the little girl who lost everything she owned. And they're reminded that what is given from the heart reaches the heart. It doesn't have to be an expensive gift or a fancy gift. And that gift of generosity and giving is the most important thing. So I really loved that. What is given from the heart? Now a really funny one, but this is a true story. This is a picture book biography of a woman named Frances Gabe. It's called The House That Cleaned Itself. And it's about a woman who hated housework so much that she invented some fantastic machines that would work inside the house so the house would clean itself. I think it must have been sort of like being inside a car wash or inside a dishwasher. And it's a true story. This really happened. And her house didn't really become popular. It didn't really take off as an invention. But some of the things she invented probably have been used since then or will be used in the future. Here's a picture of the real Mrs. Gabe in her kitchen with her raincoat and her umbrella as the kitchen cleans itself. I love that. So the house that cleaned itself. And the last one is also based on a true story. It's called Alice Across America, the story of the first women's cross-country road trip. It's by Sarah Glenn Marsh, and it's about a woman named Alice Ramsey, and she loved cars. You can see that she lived in the olden days when cars were new, and she loved cars and she loved to drive. And in 1909, a car company asked her to do this fantastic trip. For them, it was a promotion to show that their car was so easy to drive that even a lady could drive it across the country. And so Alice and 3 friends drove from New York City across the country, all the way across America to San Francisco, a journey of almost 4,000 miles. And today we could do that, but this was in 1909, and the car they had, probably only went about, 20 miles an hour, and the roads were so different then. There weren't big highways or freeways, and of that 4,000 miles between New York and San Francisco, only about 150 miles were regular paved streets. The rest were dirt roads, if you can imagine. So it took them 2 months, and they had lots of adventures, got stuck in the mud and had to be pulled out and had to change tires and met lots of people. But they made it, and it was the very first time that a woman drove all the way across the country, and it was a big adventure. So that one was Alice Across America, a picture book about a real person. So I think you would like some of those, and if they sound good to you, please request them at the curbside service. And Bella wants to say hello. Here she is. Say hi, Bella. Hi, there's the kids. And I hope we see you soon. I hope you're doing fine. Happy reading.